I'm Randy Hill, a Texas entrepreneur and inventor, and I fly by the seat of my pants.
I'm his wife, Janeé Hill. I'm a television producer and motivational speaker, and I am tightly wound and love structure.
Country meets culture, where two worlds collide.
It works. Or does it?
Hello, my name is Randy Hill. I'm a Texas entrepreneur. I fly by the seat of my pants. Sometimes I ship my pants. And this is my beautiful wife,
seriously,
Janeé.
He said, "What
Ship.
Sometimes you shipped your pants?"
Just like you ship a box
Okay.
with FedEx.
If you're going to say that, then I'm Janeé Hill, television producer, motivational speaker, and sometimes I shit on people. Sometimes I shit on people.
Should.
Shit on people. SHOULD. That's what I was saying.
And I thought our preacher at church said at Watermark, I'm going to put a little buzz
In
there
Dallas,
for-
Texas.
That's right. Don't ever say should.
I'm going to get a sermon off the top of our happy podcast.
Yeah.
I thought I was the one who gives the little motivational learning bites.
If you've joined us in the past in our other podcast, you'll find out that Janeé is a little bit wound up, and Janeé is a little bit high-strung.
I like order. I like structure. And I think many women out there can relate to me. In fact, we had someone, Jill from Garland, Texas, said, "Janeé, how do you deal with Randy's last minute, no plan personality?"
Okay, I recognize Jill from Garland, okay? So that was I think you talked to her about sending in that comment at the same
No,
time.
I mean, these are just people. I mean,
just people.
hundreds
Just
of
happen to be
thousands
Jill's our friend
in our
from
mind.
Garland.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I want to know. I want you to tell us a little
he's
bit about
interviewing
your.
me now.
Yeah, I want to interview you, beautiful. I want to hear a little bit about your career. What have you done? What's your background? Where all have you been? Because it's been quite an adventure.
Yes, I have had quite an adventure.
So a girl that's had an adventure her whole life, and now all of a sudden she's a planner.
Maybe because all of that adventure tired me out a little bit. No. Or I'm older, not old, just older and wiser. So I have always had a love for performing. Got my first microphone at the age of 5, and I'd interview my neighbors and write their stories on notebook
Hey,
paper.
good looking. Be back to pick you up later. Was it a Mr. Microphone?
I don't remember what it was called. I think it was, what is it, Pioneer that makes the woofers? Am I speakers? Woofers?
Pioneer, yeah.
Yeah, so
Sound
I mean, it was
system.
a legit microphone with a speaker at 5 years old. I was pretty cool, and I would take my little...
I bet your parents regretted that.
especially my brother. Sorry, Mark. But I would take this little notebook newspaper back to those same neighbors that I had interviewed, and I'd sell them their stories like it was a little neighborhood notebook paper. So clearly, I was a media entrepreneur. Fast forward, graduated from college with a degree in radio, TV, film.
TCU?
And then I kind of lived a really fun life. I got to be an intern on Young and the Restless and got to make an appearance on the show. I got to work for MTV, and then I decided I needed a real job. And so I started off as a training coordinator, and then that led me into leadership development, performance analysis. I was with Southwest Airlines for many, many years on their leadership development team. Well, not many years, 6 years. And then started my own consulting company, and then decided, yeah, that's me, consulting or speaking. What is that look on my face?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, but the eyebrows look good. But anyway, in about 2008, I realized I still had my love and passion for media, but I wanted a different kind of media. So I started MHE3 Productions, committed to authentic, positive programming designed to make a difference. And really, it's just been a fun ride. We've produced multiple television series, and that was me on a bus tour. That was like a 10-day bus tour. And now...
That's in a bus?
Yeah, that's in
Wow.
the back lounge of the bus.
yeah.
And now
I like buses.
I'm working on a project to go 50 states in 30 days. And Randy, I would like to rope you into that project.
50 states in 30 days.
Yep. I am thinking,
I'm hoping you're going to rope in a jet.
no. I want us to take a good times van.
Okay.
Okay. Now, for people who are listening, they may not know what a Good Times
Let me
van
tell you,
is.
everybody that's listening knows what a Good Times van is.
Oh, big boy.
Come
I
on
don't
now.
think so.
Send me in some comments.
Okay.
There's one right there.
Okay, so this one says, is this the old shaggin' wagon? The answer is
Yes.
yes. So Randy would
This
like
is that's
to.
a new version. That picture there was a new version. That's
Okay,
the
so
new
you're
luxury
bringing
vans.
back the Good Times van.
I'm going to
Tell
bring
us
back
about
the Good
that.
Times. I've been a career entrepreneur my whole life.
You've told us that.
Yeah,
In many episodes.
a few years ago, for the first time in 20 years, I went to work for another company, and I was there for about a week or two, and they said, "Hey, why don't you take over our van department?" And so I did, and really quickly, the first thing I thought about was I said, "Man, somebody needs to build a Good Times van." Good Times was the original company here in Dallas in the 1970s, early 70s. That
They were like
really,
conversion vans.
Yeah,
I
it was a
mean,
conversion van.
we had a
Custom van.
conversion van, and like it had a couch in the back, and then it had these captain's chairs and this
TVs.
table that you could take out.
refrigerators in some of them.
Yeah, and they really kind of were known to be the shaggin' wagon. Is that why you want to bring
If
it
this
back?
van's a rockin', don't come a knockin'.
Okay, is that where that song came
Yeah,
from?
that's where that came from.
All right.
A song. I didn't know that was a song.
Oh yeah, I'll have to find it for you.
Okay,
and
that'd be
sing
good.
it late at night.
Yeah.
No,
Pandora.
so I would like to take this Good Times van, going 50 states in 30 days, and we spread some happiness. Like we help. Remember, if you've listened, you heard about how I love to help the homeless. But we could help the homeless. We could have like pop-up parties. We could do random acts of kindness. We could do some surprises. I think this would be a once in a lifetime experience for our children, for our family, and then really just for the nation.
It would be an experience for Good Times.
And in fact, we're getting lots of people on Facebook that said, I'm in, let us know where your van's going to be. Our family will join. So let's just make that happen.
Okay, family affair.
Yeah, I am very tightly wound. But I am also known to rope Randy in to some of the things that I do. So I mentioned television producer, motivational speaker. I also do consulting.
Let's tell them some crazy stories.
Hold on.
Thing, in a short amount of time that we've been married,
I have no idea what he's going to say.
there are some stories. The first one was
Please don't say who I work for.
No, I'm not going to tell you who we work for.
Okay.
We go. She wants me to take her down to Houston, I believe, for the National Realtors Convention. And so she's telling her background and her story. And as many of you have seen in Janeé's testimony, I'll let you, I don't want to say anything that's inappropriate but
Okay, so I'll tell a story. So I'm speaking and I'm talking about things that I've overcome. And I said, I was in an abusive marriage. He was arrested for assault with bodily injury, and I was the one assaulted. So I just told that little snippet of my story, and then I moved on.
And then at the very end, she goes, "My husband's at the back of the room."
And no one wanted to shake his hand, and I didn't understand why.
It was because they're wondering, is this the same husband that?
And the answer is no. Randy is not the one who was arrested. Yeah, but I didn't even think about that.
I thought there was a stalker at the back of the room.
Right. But there have been some times, like Randy wears his hat all the time. Our son is little and he's playing soccer. And one day Randy went to coach the soccer team in his cowboy hat and boots. I mean, who does that? Hey, boys, giddy up.
Hey, and those kids, they learned a lot. They learned how to throw the ball in. They learned how to kick it in the goal. They learned how to, as a team, attack.
Right.
I mean, it was a good experience.
But if you can imagine, so in addition to television production, I also do live event production. So I direct and produce live events. And many times, or I'm emceeing the event, and they put us at the front table. And I mean, clearly you can't be at the front table and be respectful of people behind you when you've got a 10-gallon boat on your head.
That's 12.
Okay, 12-gallon. And so I am always trying to get Randy to take off his hat for these events.
So she's going to speak at Easter Seals here in Dallas. It's a very special day, and we're getting ready, and she says, "Hey, I don't think you need to bring your hat. I don't want you to wear your hat. Why don't you just leave it at home?" And the thought crossed my mind, maybe I should put it in the back seat, but I didn't do it. I was like a good husband, and I minded her. We get to the Waldorf Astoria, And the theme for Easter seals for the luncheon is hats off to moms. I'm the only one, except for my wife, that doesn't have a hat on.
Because it was hat day at the luncheon.
So,
Oopsie daisy.
anyway, Janeé had also volunteered me to say the opening prayer. So when I got up,
He is not available. You don't want him at your event because he takes the opening prayer into a keynote speech.
my number is here at the bottom of the screen. You can call me and no.
If you
So
wanna run your
anyway,
guest
Janeé
away,
volunteers me for the
put
prayer,
him to
and I
sleep.
got up and I said, my wife told me this morning not to wear my cowboy hat that I normally wear. So today, truly, hats off to moms.
Well, Randy, we just got a comment on Facebook from Debbie Rasa, and she is heading up the Night of Blessing Country Chic event in Dallas. And she said, can Randy redeem himself, wear his hat, and play our auctioneer? I think that's a great idea because I'm emceeing the event. So, Randy, how about you do the auctioneer? Will you do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. So,
I don't know much about auctioneering
You know-
other than buying.
you just talk really fast and then say sold.
Yeah.
Hey, sold to the
Yeah.
guy with the 12-gallon cowboy hat.
I'll just buy everything.
You know, I think what might be a good idea, Randy, you're an entrepreneur. I am all about raising money for causes. How about we auction Randy off? And so what I am going to do on social media, now
No.
you can't be some single girl. Like, this is
Yeah,
not that kind
single
of.
girls, please
Yeah,
apply.
no, this is not that kind of.
Under age 50.
This is not that kind of auction. But I think we should auction Randy off. And so what you do is you get an hour with this
That's
entrepreneur.
a whole nother podcast
I mean-
about crazy ideas that Janeé has
So
come up with.
let's do this. Let's do this. I will also auction myself off. So you
No,
can have
no. No, we're not going to auction yourself off.
You
No.
can- Randy will
I'm
supervise
going to lay down
her.
the law and say no.
You could have an hour with Randy and he'll talk about entrepreneurship, or you can have an hour with me and I will get to the bottom of your performance issues. I mean, in your business. And so
That did not sound good coming out of your mouth.
it reminds me one
And,
time.
we're going to have to seriously edit this podcast.
So it reminds me of one time we were working on a project and I was interviewing the head of sales for Sony in North America. And I couldn't hear what he was saying, even though he had a microphone on. And so I said, I'm just going to reach in your pocket and turn you on. And what I meant was, I'm going to reach in your pocket and turn your microphone on. But it really came across the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I'll just stop talking
Well, that
now.
last comment you said before that came across the wrong way.
Okay, so on that note,
Your
you know,
performance?
maybe we will ride off into the sunset or take separate exits. But regardless, we are going to see who can raise the most money. So you can bid on an hour with Randy or an hour with Janeé for some business consulting or entrepreneurship consulting. And follow us at Country Meets Culture and stay tuned.
Oh, and here's the other deal.
Oh, no.
If the price paid for me is double what's paid for her, 2 hours.
Let me just tell you that with me,
And the
you'll
creep-
actually
and-
get
and-
some
and any-
results,
and
not
any-
just
and
listen
any
to a
creeps
long
that are-
conversation.
Any creeps that are watching or tuning in that think they're going to get Janeé for an hour, no.
Randy's going to
I'm coming with her.
All right, seriously, that's all we've got. Stay tuned for next week where we're going to talk about the crazy times.
The crazy times.
Not that we've ever had any.
Well, we've had a few.
Exactly.